Hey guys, Kevin is for the series premiere of Teachers. This was the pilot, and I wasn't planning on reviewing this first episode to you guys, but I figured I might as well because honestly, guys, I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with this show. I'm really not, and I want to give you guys a review of it. And if I don't stick with it, then I at least want to put out a review of the first episode. I knew nothing going into this. I did not see any footage. I did not see a single promo. All I knew is that it was coming on after Younger, which, by the way, great season premiere for Younger. Already really loving season 2, but I'll talk about that when season 2 finishes. But because of Younger and because of how great that was, I was wondering, okay, is this going to be just as great as that? I didn't really know if this was going to be any good, and I checked it out. And I have to say that while I think Teachers definitely has potential, it really needs to first figure out what kind of show it's trying to be, because in my opinion, this to me really felt like two different kinds of shows, and I'll talk about those two different kinds of shows we have. Now, the plot of the show is simple. It's based off a web series, which I did not watch. If you guys did watch it, I didn't. It's by this improv group called the Dids, and basically it's written by these 6 members of a group, who are elementary school teachers, and basically it's kind of like the goings on in their life. This episode had to do with bullying, and this episode definitely presented some interesting things, like what is bullying, what do we see as bullying, is bullying what we think it is. That definitely seemed very interesting here. That's something I definitely really did love, is the way they portrayed bullying, as in the kids didn't really know that they were bullying these students, and what they were saying was hurtful. That part of this I definitely really like. The other part of this I really do like is the cast here. I think all of these actresses are quite good. Definitely I see some potential in them, particularly from the 3 characters we explore the most in this episode, that being Katie Colleton, Kate Lambert, and Catherine Renee Thomas. I think all 3 of these actresses are very good. It's just the characters they're playing, I don't think are very likable at all. Honestly, I could not really like a single character in this show, and I'll talk about why. This show, like I said, feels like 2 different shows to me. This is going to be a quick review. If you guys can't already tell, this is definitely going to be a quick review because I don't have too much to say. But let me just say that I really do feel this show feels like 2 different shows. Part of this, to me, felt like this is what they're trying to show elementary school teachers really act as. All the times elementary school teachers told you to do things, they were really drunk, or they were really self-conscious, or they really weren't feeling good about themselves. And that makes for some very funny comedy, like the character of Chelsea Snap. This is someone that is obsessed with their appearance to the point where one of her students doesn't get her cheekbones right. She makes them do it again and again until they get it right, and that is insane. That is definitely showing how crazy these people really are. But then you have this character of Deb Adler, who is supposed to be an elementary school teacher, but would never be an elementary school teacher. And that's one of my problems with this show, is that a lot of it is very unbelievable. It would be very hard for me to think all of these could be elementary school teachers, when it seems like that's what the show is trying to do. It's trying to show, like, oh, those elementary school teachers you had? This is how they actually acted. And that really doesn't work for me. And that's something I didn't really feel worked in this episode at all, is that these characters here just are not that likable. They're very selfish. They have a lot going on in their lives. They don't really seem to care about their students at all, honestly. They seem like they're just simply trying to stop this bullying thing because it's what they were told to do in their job, and it all seems very manipulative, and there's really no heart to this show, and that's something I wanted. I wanted genuine heart, and we didn't get that. Like the character of Deb Adler, like I said, I will get into more of her character, but we eventually find out that Deb Adler was very badly bullied. She was called fat, and now she's not fat, and she has to face the bully, who is played by Alison Brie, which is one of the reasons I was looking forward to the show, is because it's executively produced by Alison Brie, who I always really like. I think she's a great actress. She's also quite hot, but I've always really liked her from Community and things like that. She's one of my favorites from Community. I stopped watching Community after what's his name, Troy left. After Troy left, I kind of just stopped watching because I really wasn't into it anymore. But I really loved her when I saw her on there. But definitely, I thought she did a good job in this. But the thing with Deb Adler is just, you don't care about her character because she's not very likable. I didn't find her character likable. I kind of found her actually quite annoying. The fact that she just held this grudge against this bully, and this bully clearly has not moved on. There's no heart between this. They're playing it for laughs, and it really doesn't work. the show seems to have this combination of very subtle humor combined with slapstick comedy. And some of that slapstick comedy I feel needs to be believable, because something I feel like the show is trying to do is, like I said, trying to show this is how your elementary school teachers really are. This is what you didn't see from them, and this is why they acted the way they were around you. And that definitely could make for some very funny stuff. It's just a lot of it does not work on this show. It doesn't seem believable, and I can't really believe that elementary school teachers would act this way. It definitely does not seem like this is a way that elementary school teachers would act, and that's definitely something that does not work for me. And I get that these characters aren't necessarily supposed to be likable, but it very much reminds me of Girls, a show where we're supposed to care about these characters, but right now at least I don't really have much to deal with. You know, we see that one of them is unstable after a breakup, but it happened 14 months ago, and it's ridiculous that they're still hung up over it, and you don't feel compassion for this character. You just feel these characters are pathetic. I didn't find these characters funny. I didn't find them compelling. I found them very, very pathetic. I found them like, just move on with your life. You're not a child. You're a grown adult. You need to move on and care for your students, because clearly they're hurting, and it just does not work for me. You can do unlikable characters, but you need to make them somewhat likable and have us understand them. And right now, I don't really know if the show knows what it wants to do with these characters. Let me also say, I did not really find the show particularly funny. In fact, a lot of this I felt like should have been portrayed as a bit more serious than it was. And there were definitely some funny moments. Like I said, the thing with the picture I thought was kind of clever. But then it just went on, and I was trying to see, okay, what are they really trying to accomplish here? And to me, it just seemed like they were just trying to get some laughs across. That's all they were trying to do. They were trying to find the humor in something that was not funny, in my opinion at least. I didn't really find it all that funny. And because of it, the joke didn't work, in my opinion. Definitely that's something that did not work here. The leads overall, I feel like they have good chemistry. Definitely, I will say that that's something I definitely saw, is that all of these characters, they have very good chemistry. They have very good chemistry, but this did not feel like a season premiere. It feels like a series premiere. It felt like a season premiere. It felt like a show that we've been watching for a while. We know these characters, and that's not the way to do it. You got to draw me into these characters, and this show did not really do that. All this show did is give me little tidbits here and there, and I want to see more of them not at the school. I want to see more of their home lives. I want to see more of what their characters are going to bring to the show, and that's the thing that might keep me watching. If we keep this show away from the elementary schoolers, which I do want to focus on them, but have us focus on the personal lives of these characters and maybe deepen them a bit, then maybe I can get a bit more interested. Problem is, I don't really know if the show is going to do that. I don't know if the show is simply just going to be a fun show where we have unlikable characters that we're supposed to find funny, but I just found them very pathetic and very stupid, that they were going through these situations and that they wouldn't just get over it, which I thought was really stupid. Or are they actually going to make this a show where there's much more going on with them than we think? Some of these characters we know absolutely nothing about, like Cecilia Cannon, AJ Feldman, Mary Louise Bennigan. We don't really know too much about these characters because they didn't really do much with them. And that really sucked for me. I wanted them to do more with these characters, but they really didn't. And unfortunately, I don't really know if I'm going to continue the show. I'm going to give it another episode, definitely. I'm going to give another episode, see if it's any good. But right now, guys, I was quite disappointed. I really wasn't expecting much from the show, but this really felt like a step back to me. This really felt more of just a typical comedy that's not funny because it does not have very likable characters. But overall, guys, let me know what you guys saw of this show. Do you think this show is going to work? Like I said, I feel like this show could work if they maybe just tweak things a bit and do things differently than they've been doing, because a lot of what they're doing is not working, in my opinion. And we'll see you guys in my next show, which will be for the series premiere of Colony, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.